of time. They had a couple of really solid defenses, so I think if they can just incorporate every single one of their teammates to be a factor in the team fighting, then it's going to be good looks all around for Gabe.
Well, the Robin banned first and foremost by the guys in memory of Gabe. Circuit and Soul banned out by Monkey Madness. I think the Circuit ban is very, very important. Cynosaur really showed us what he can do, and like I said when we were bringing it up, Cynosaur on the Circuit has run games by himself. So you got to be careful of that one.
Cyno had some excellent picks in that game. It's just, unfortunately, they couldn't really follow up too much with it because it was typically at least 1 or 2 members already dead on the side of Gabe. So even if you're able to find one with the Circuit, you can't deal with a 4v3 in the same way, especially since Circuit, it's pretty much what she does. It's that one all-in potential, and then you're just falling back.
Well, the Susano selection comes through for Monkey Madness, and that's just as scary as anything else that Monkey Madness can throw at you. Thoth and Terra will be repeated. Here we go. At least the Thoth will be Herwind one more time. The Thoth guy, hopefully he has some help this time around.
I think things will be significantly better this time around without having to worry about that Robin constantly running at him. Susano, though, is yet another god that's still not a whole lot of fun to deal with as a mage.
That's kind of what I was saying. Whether it's Robin and Osiris or Susano and Osiris, either way, I think you're kind of in some trouble there as a mage in the mid lane. But Andy's Ra, that's what I'm excited about. And Thor is going to come out for in memory of Gabe.
Cyno's Thor is also pretty exciting, and both of these mid-jungle compositions have a lot of wombo combo potential, so I'm really excited to see who's going to be looking. I would imagine that it's going to be Cyno looking for the engage on that Thor.
Yeah.
That's just a classic for Thor, but the counter engage by Homofae and Andy on the Raw Susanoo can be really, really deadly.
The Kepri and the Hou Yi bans coming out from in memory of Gabe. Monkey Madness opted to ban out a Warrior in Nike and Cardanos in the Hunter. Thankfully, I won't have to listen to you saying
I just say Kern for a reason. I'm just saying. It turns into Kern after a certain point. Like, you just accept defeat in certain terms and you just move on to the next best thing.
Sort of like the pickup of Gab. You get banned out by Kepri and you move on to the next best thing. Is Gab the next best thing?
For survivability, I would have to think so. And I think that for what Monkey Madness are looking for, which is just a sustain and survivability, you've got the frontlining presence with the Osiris. And I do think that CC is actually there for them because of that Susano and Geba Medusa, but the Odin is huge.
Just a fantastic pick. Absolutely fantastic pick. A lot of people look to this guy to shut down healers. Ra's a healer, but we know Andy plays it more as a straight mage. Less about the healing. Still absolutely part of the kit. That'll shut it down. But more importantly, the only person that can really get through Osiris, kind of Susano.
I don't know, because we've also seen Odin selections into very, very excellent giraffes for an Odin to just go ham on, and the Odin just gets completely destroyed.
Well,
so
listen,
it's one way or the other, and that's the risky factor about running the Odin in the soul lane, is you're either going to dominate or get dominated.
I actually, before we went in, I almost thought we were going to see Cynosaur on the Odin, and see some Kiki so cheeky shenanigans with the solo lane Thor.
That's a throwback, though.
That's
a throwback to OG Kiki.
Yeah, that's OG Kiki when he's hanging out with Peckies too much. But we will see Cynosaur on the Thor, which is probably a little bit better, I would say.
Wait until the Arachne pick happens for Gabe, and then we know that's Kiki without a doubt.
I've been waiting. Cynosaur here on the Thor, but more importantly, Kiki on the Odin, as this is really the focal point of the team. I think any pick is going to do better than the Sun Wukong last match. I'm sorry. I know it's a little bit overly critical, but it looked like a 4-on-5. It just was not effective.
I think he just had a harder time trying to... The thing, when you had Homofae on the Robin, and then you had Final K on the Osiris, they had follow-up damage after they were committing, but nobody on Gabe could help Kiki with the follow-up damage aspect because Hurrywin was either dead, or Snoopy was dead, or poked out to the effect where he was practically dead.
And while I would like that change to happen mid-game, it obviously didn't. Hopefully we see that change in game number 2. Kiki has to play a little bit more defensive than offensive, and I think that that's what this Odin pick speaks to. As Final K fights 2-on-1, no problem whatsoever.
fun with Osiris, but Homefei looking to join the party, see if he can maybe catch Sino off guard here.
Yeah, he's going to get the dot, and there's 2 hits. No pull.
I was waiting for the Osiris ability to just come through and look for that last little tick of health.
Not going to be the case just yet. Still no first blood. Playing it nice and safe. But yeah, the Thor and the Osiris just knock, knock, knock. We're here on your lawn. Kiki can't even get under. Kiki can't even clear under his own tower correctly. Safely, rather. That's not a knock at Kiki. More a shout to Final K and Homie FA's just power in this lane. And
Andy, I believe, just chose to drop his ultimate to try and secure some oracles away from In Memory of Gabe, but unfortunately, I think that was a split down the middle.
Either way, still a good look for the Ra player. Whether he's able to secure them both or just one, it's going to deny vision the other direction as well. So Andy still making a count on that Ra, and that's the ultimate that you can throw out any day of the week. It's up in no time.
Yeah, I agree with that, but the Odin pick here and the way that we saw Final K poking that out, Yannick getting a little testy there with Jigs. Not liking that poke out.
Vedium has the zigzags, the wiggles, and right here in the mid lane, Sadashore wishes he had him. Homie FA lays it down thanks to Andy. Big damage out of the mid lane mage. And they take down Sadashore for first blood.
Unfortunately for Sino, just unable to get up into that ultimate in time. The windup just always feels so much longer whenever somebody's DPSing you down.
Yeah, that's certainly the truth. Anster has his ultimate back, should he need it for the next time. But Vedium has been very impressive here in this lane. Medusa also one of the characters that I think of more so than Ram when I think Vedium. I think of Vedium as more of a team fight player than an individual guy. And watching what he did with the Ram, I mean, how he played that like a team fight player. Sadashore, oh, Andy misses, but Fine OK does not. And there's a second blood going the way of MM. Same player, same team, same result. Dead jungler.
And Homie stole his speed as well. So it's like a double whammy. Not only did he just die, respawn, and just try to farm out his own jungle safely, he got invaded and killed again.
And that's good. That's good understanding of the pathing coming out from the jungler. Monkey Man has just understood. We killed him. His speed's up. That's where the jungle goes. So exactly where In Memory of Gabe goes. Nice beads. Saves the life of Snoopy. Rolls out of the area that Vedium would have been able to hit with his ult.
And I like the Geb Medusa combination in the sense it's not the same effect usually as an Athena where you have the taunt directly, but just being able to free somebody who might just be facing you and having that Medusa ultimate to follow up immediately, it's such an easy execution. And for a player like Vedium who loves that team fighting potential, I think that it's probably one of the best looks for him. I mean, Neith was a god that we saw him use time and time again, and he's also one of the few ADCs I think that I actually enjoy watching play the Neith.
Me too.
Because of how he utilizes her.
Yeah, and it's just, and that's the way that's the way he uses most hunters. But Sano goes up, Final K knows it. It's an interesting play. Sadashore goes up, and he assumes that Final K got the communication, leaving no chance for a miscommunication or a non-call, just having respect for his teammate to make that call that he's up in the air.
Was kind of hoping, I bet, that Sino would be, or that Final K would be looking to dive Kiki underneath that T1 tower.
Right.
That's a potential cleanup kill, but now at level 6 and just starting to fall even more behind Homefei, that capitalization onto him in the early lane of the mid lane, it's just so unfortunate to fall behind early.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him so far in the Odin. Kiki digging level 8 now, however. So we'll see. Oh, Sadashore level 6.
Yeah, it's rough. That is rough, especially as a Thor.
My point was going to be Kiki's a little bit behind as well, but hopefully he can pick up his jungler. But when you're 3 levels south, then that becomes an extended conversation. Sadashore needs to kind of hang out with his teammates and find some safe farm. The jungle respawning in about 30 seconds or so, 45 seconds. We'll see him pick that up unless Muggy Madness really wants to step on his throat.
And there's late game presence for Gabe between the Thoth and the Ram. So if they can bide out their time and just really help Sino safe farm, then I think he'll have a good shot at coming back into this game because of Hurrywin and Snoopy.
Hopefully. And you know, it's going to be a big part of... Jigs just walks into the Terra nonsense. No big deal, but Snoopy is really who I have my eye on here. He was the heavy lifter in game number 1. Will that work out in game number 2? Snoopy going the Devo gloves build here on the ROM. Interesting choice. Cynosaur avoiding the ultimate of the Gabe just by way of the hammer. However, Gabe does get the beads of the mid laner, so that's a win in some ways.
I do feel incredibly bad for Sidon there because we just spoke about safe farm, and really there's no way for him to safely farm in his own lane.
Oh, man.
Or his own jungle, I should say. And yeah, that's just one of those feels Batman moments with the Osiris.
Look at Kiki. He's just like, I'm going home. I got him. I got him under the tower. He literally walked through my ultimate. I'm just going home.
I mean, it's what we talked about. Osiris is one of the few gods on the side of MM that can naturally escape from that cage.
And because of the trip back to base, HomeAFA and Final K able to take the 7-minute tower. I guess 8-minute tower would be a little bit nicer to Kiki, but not his best day on the battlefield today, the solo laner for in memory of Gabe not winning his lane against the rookie, Final K.
I think what also happened here is with Cyno falling so far behind early on and Kiki being forced out of that speed buff XP well as the blue buff XP. I mean, he can't even secure his own speed buff or blue buff, excuse me. And on top of that, HomeAFA is free to just pressure that lane out.
Nice moves by Andy. Well, yeah, I mean, Smite's a game of ripple effects. We all know that. Cyno again. Nice beads, avoiding the ultimates out of both the mid lane and the Geb. But Smite's a game of ripple effects, and Cynosaur was kind of put down, and so because Cynosaur was put down, like you said, that gets extrapolated to Kiki, and he's not really able to get the farm that he needs. And unfortunately, you know, his play hasn't really stood up today either. Right now, Monkey Madness just going for the Oracles.
They need one big team fight and a solid Odin ring. I think if Gabe can find that 4 or 5-man Odin ring on top of MM, then they might have a solid chance in a team fight. It's just...
The problem here is Monkey Madness...
They're not going to group for that.
They have a 3,000 gold lead without doing anything.
That's rough. I feel like I've been saying that this entire set with these two teams, and I mean, well played to MM, already getting a solid head start in game number 2.
Trying to think about what it is about Monkey Madness, and you know, they're just very powerful players. I think the right side of the map, Andy, HomeAFA, and Final K. Not to say that Jigs and Vedium are very important to this team, but Andy, HomeAFA, and Final K just drive this squad so hard, whether it's by being offensive and finding the kills or just getting out of trouble. These 3 players seem to do whatever they want every time they come into play.
Well, they also, Hurrywind and Cyno have a great comp. You do have that all-in burst potential with a Thor and a Thoth, but when it comes to the first 3 levels, which are probably some of the most important levels in Smite, a Ra and a Susano is going to outclear a Thoth and a Thor, and I think that's really where things have started falling apart a little bit for Gabe, is that they've just been struggling in those initial 3 levels to outclear MM, and because of that, it's just leaving them open to these ganks and invades.
Well, you know, if you look back historically, HomeAFA and Andy, as Cynosaur lands directly on Andy. Nice placement of the wall here, and Andy might fall down. He will. Hurwin finally gets in memory of Gabe on the board off of the assist from the jungler. Going all for it. Here comes Jigs trying to protect anything else, and Iana gonna fall down. Vedium, nice rotation from the Hunter, gets the kill.
And Final K, meanwhile, on the backside, preventing Kiki from running into that team fight, poking him out so much that he's just going to have to back instead.
Final K actually going for
the zone.
The number 9 jungler, or the level 9 jungler, I should say. Level 12, 3 levels up. He was not looking for the zone. He was looking for the kill on the jungle.
Probably could have killed him.
Yeah, he probably could have.
If Cyno isn't careful, but he still was able to effectively zone at the same time as nearly picking up a kill. And now MM securing that Gold Fury, giving them the first, I mean, that's a pretty solid gold lead, 5K.
They were already up 3K.
At 11.5 minutes. That's a lot for this early.
Andy and HomeAFA specifically are fantastic. Go ahead.
You see that experience difference? 7K?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the individual numbers, the individual levels. But what it comes down to, do you remember what team Homie FA was on when he first broke into the pro scene?
Oh, I don't remember the name.
Denial.
That was ShadowQ's
Yep.
the first project by ShadowQ.
And this is a trip down memory lane, but do you remember what Denial was known for back in the day? Early game prowess. They were very, very good.
That was the cheesy. Yeah. That was the.
Well, whether it was
cheesy.
Whether it was cheese
I mean,
or
we call
not.
it cheesy, but it's not really cheese. It's a legitimate strategy.
Look
as
at
he's always say.
Battling 1v2, finds 2 players with the ultimate. This guy is the guy. This guy is the guy. Oh man, I promise I had a reason for bringing that up. My point is that Homie FA and Andy and Final K have found themselves in this current meta where they are extraordinary early game players. And because they find wins, they find victories in those first couple of levels, 1, 2, and 3, as you noted before, that puts their team up ahead.
Oh no, Snoopy. Trying to take on Homie in the 1v1, but the damage from Susano is just all too much. Ultimate to quickly put him away and back to base.
14 to 12. Those are the levels. So I think what it is for Monkey Madness, trying to find it, is that Homie FA and Andy are just extraordinary early game players. And they can find these wins, you know. Like you said, Sino and Herwin have a great composition. But the early game prowess that is Homie FA and Andy's picks allow them to jettison their team and find these leads. 3,000 for 2 kills. That's what you get out of that early game play.
I think Kiki might be taking a spill here as well.
Nice wall.
The wall is going to save his life. I thought Sino was going to recommit to Homie for a second. When he went up in the air, I really thought he was going to think about the recommit, and I am so glad that he didn't.
13 minutes. Monkey Madness, yesterday, game number 1, I said these guys do whatever they want. They're doing whatever they want. 13-minute tier 1 tower. I mean, the solo tower's already dead.
Gabe picked up the red buff. If that doesn't tell you how MM are feeling about this game, I don't know what will, because I mean...
No, that's the Deathwalker build.
It's a Deathwalker build. Yeah, you really get the massive power spike from the full stacks of the Lono's mask.
Hey, man.
It's just going ham. What a beast.
Hey, it's percentage, so I wonder how much magical power Gabe actually has. CDR Boots has what, 20? Okay, there it is. 60 magical power.
I think he has negative magical power even with that red buff right now in his current build, but it doesn't even matter. His 2 at least is going to be Shrekin.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. But MM are clearly feeling very confident.
The best emote in the game. It's the globe. Listen, if you're at home and you're not as excited as I am to see the globe, go eat rocks.
I'm here right now, and I am not as excited to see the globe.
You know what? Go eat rocks. I love the globe. I think it's so good. Why is it there? So many questions. So many questions.
No, but it's like, I don't know. It is one of the more fun emotes in the
globe.
game. I like the Vulcan Furious, personally.
Does he turn into an object that doesn't even fit the rest of the game?
I mean, Smite is life. That's all that's saying. Smite is the world.
Kuzenbo is the world.
Okay, calm down there, Barracuda.
Hey. Hey.
We do have, I mean, it's just been kind of Gabe just trying to fight away. They're just trying to roll away from MM. They're not really looking to stay in line.
I see you. You said it, and you hate that you said it. Her face, oh man, she's like, roll away. Oh no, he's gonna do it. Yeah. You know what else rolls away? The globe emote.
Rom.
Got him. No, not as good as Geb. Sorry. But imagine if they had picked Kuzenbo.
Imagine if Kepri had a gun.
Why is everybody taking it? That's my piece of original art.
I thought that was the chalk statements, but either way, I mean, this one's kind of just boiling down to Gabe really don't have much of a response to the pressure that MM were able to apply so early on. And when a Geb is able to just safely farm away, I mean, Jigs is in such a good spot right now. All he has to do is press 3 and 4 on occasion, and his team is A-okay.
Kiki jumps towards the enemy base. Going to be fine because Final K actually doesn't want to engage on him. Snoopy, however, gets caught up by Jigs, use the beads to get out of there, and he hits him with both, gets him with the 1, gets him with the 4, and he's done. Get out of here. Wonderful play, Anderster. Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
I've become so used to seeing Andy make that play that I would be more surprised if he didn't.
It's just...
It's always great watching somebody so mechanically talented just do that consistently.
It's just the searing... The first ability, the slow laser beam, is so slow, and then to put it on top of the ultimate Snoopy, just... When you're up close like that, it's almost easier to juke. Oh, wow. Andy just understanding it. Nice trap by Vedium, but Kiki's going to trap him. He's still dead. Vedium gets him with the ultimate, and Bluestone gets it done.
Oh, that's so rough for Gabe. Hurrywin barely managed to escape with his life, but it doesn't even matter because they're dying on other fronts. Kiki, who's supposed to be one of their tankier frontliners, getting completely shredded away by the lead from Vedium.
Globe.
They're looking to siege. I think they could siege the Phoenix.
I
think that Gabe are too far behind to prevent the siege.
They absolutely can. It's 11,000 gold in the lead, 18 minutes on the clock, 8 kills. MM own 7 of them. Nice wall coming out from Shore trying to split up the team, but unfortunately not going to do it. Shore very low. Homie FA gets the kill. Eonic dashes forward, rooting 3 in place. Phoenix still alive, 25%. MM have to retreat.
At least Gabe were able to hold their Phoenix, and they're not going to be losing it before the 20-minute mark. Or at least right now, it doesn't look like they will. Snoopy, however, rolling in, trying to get aggressive onto Vedium, but the Geb shield is good. Homefe popping his Aegis, and now the fight. They're looking for the turnaround.
And the ring from Kiki's a strong one. Snoopy tried to deal with Andy. Andy's just walking at him as a Ra. That time he's going to miss. Snoopy, ooh.
But Kiki, Fine OK didn't miss and was able to pick up that kill onto Kiki. And it's just...
Now, no death is good at this point, right? Those are the deaths you want your solo laner to take. Die for your hunter. Rom's in the air, Kiki goes forward, traps him in, whatever Rom does after the fact. I mean...
That was such a good Odin cage, but the rest of Gabe is just too far behind. Like, Hurrywin had to back to base. Same with Sino. They weren't able to follow up on that ring. And so what could have potentially at least bought them a little bit of time, wiped out 2 or 3 members of MM, is just left unattended, and instead it's Kiki dying for what was honestly a pretty good play.
Well, there was a... Give it to us, Jigs. Give it to us, Jigs. Oh, it's a wave. Come on, Jigs. That's the wrong emote. The second is the global emote. I really wanted it, Jigs. I really wanted it. That was funny, though. He knocked his old friend Eonic out of the way, but there was a 10-minute stretch where we just talked about the globe emote and Kuzenbo because nothing was happening. And really, that was troublesome to me, honestly, because in memory of Gabe had plays they could have made. I feel like mentally, Gabe is out of this one.
I think they got locked out. Yeah. I think that they're inside their own heads now for sure. I wouldn't call it like a tilt factor necessarily, but having Jigs kind of just do this is, I mean, that wears at you. And I don't think that Gabe are kind of just on autopilot, it seems like.
Like I am the #1 guy that...
Oh my!
Snoopy gets smoked out by Andy from a distance off of the reactive shot under the tower. That was just unseen. That was incredible. Andy, so the other, and there's Andy getting another kill. There's Andy getting another kill. 2 with 1 ability. All right, listen. Maybe I overhyped the kill on Snoopy once upon a time over the side. You can't tell me that wasn't incredible. Globe!
Oh my. These guys, I'm kind of surprised the F6 hasn't just happened.
Me too.
I think that this is one of those games where if you know that your team isn't really responding or able to respond, and you've already kind of thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
I would rather you just F6 in this kind of circumstance than debut holding your abilities.
I agree. When it comes down to it, Taco, I don't like to infer what's in a player's mind, right? When it comes down to builds and play and calls and itemization, that's my job. My job is to do that. I don't like to say, well, I think they're tilted here, Taco. But I think anybody can tell that right now, in memory of Gabe, have thrown in the proverbial towel. I don't think that they've played their best in the past 10 minutes, and that's kind of unfortunate.
I think game number 1 was actually solid attempts at defense. I think game number 2 has really just been Gabe kind of just being 5 members in a game with really no opportunities to really look for or open up for themselves. They just fell incredibly far behind. Sino right now trying to deter them, going all in.
This could be the fight.
It's already over.
Now, Herwin looking for the kill from a distance, off of the stunt from the jungler, but homie F.A. gets the better of Kiki, so cheeky. 2 players down. Herwin, Eonic, and Snoopy ready to defend the left side. Phoenix, mid, already dead, as well as the right.
And with 2 members being unavailable for a memory of Gabe, I imagine that MM are looking to just close this one out.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And you know, in memory of Gabe, I do want to highlight that. This is not one of those situations where I'm disappointed in the players. I think Monkey Bandits just had an incredible set in game number 1, came off just as hot in the first 10 minutes of game number 2, and what do? You just got beat so hard. Unfortunately, in memory of Gabe,